What's up guys, this is Tampatec and I'm going to show you everything you need to know when owning a Stern pinball machine. Now with the coin door open, you can look at the service buttons right here. The black button is select, the red button is to navigate forward, the other red button is to navigate backwards, and the green button is to back out of the menu. So let's go ahead and get started. Now the 48 volts is turned off, so keep that in mind. So if you're testing coils, you're gonna have to pull that switch right here to test the coils. Now the high voltage is turned on. Be careful. Go ahead and hit the black button. Hit the black button again. And hit the black button again to enter diagnostic. And hit the black button to test switches. And then we're gonna hit the black button once again. And then we're gonna test a switch. Let's go ahead and test this button right here. And the other button. And it tells you what button, which is kind of cool. See, it says service plus, service minus button. And then let's go ahead and test out another button. Let's test out this button right here. Lockdown bar button. So, and then let's test this button right here. Now, the reason why it's triggering two switches is because we have this upper flipper and the lower flipper. And those are two different switches on that one button. So when you press it halfway, it triggers that left flipper, the bottom left. And if you press it all the way, it triggers the top flipper. And then hit back, and then back again, and then we can test the lamps and coils. So hit the red button to test the coils, and you could do a cycle, or you could test each individual coil. So let's go try to do a cycle. There it goes. That's the motor. And it tells you which one is triggering. Now, obviously, the magnet is not going to make any noise. And then when you're done, you can hit back. And then back again. And then once again, you can test all the lamps if you want. This is testing all of them. There's also other tests for the drop targets, Dr. Strange motor, and Dr. Strange disc, but these are game specific tests. You also go into your node board and test that. Now if you are inexperienced working on electronics, I highly suggest don't have the circuit on while testing voltages. Have the high voltage turned off, and you can still read parts and troubleshoot that way. Now I have the high voltage turned off. I put my meter in ohms, which reads resistance, and then I can read my coils. This coil kicks out the ball, and right here it reads 17.5 ohms. This is a smaller coil. Unlike the flipper coils that are bigger coils, they're going to have a lower resistance. It's going to have lower ohms. So let's go ahead and test that. Another way to troubleshoot is simply lifting up and down. If this gets stuck, then either you have to clean out the sleeve, the plastic sleeve that you see right there, and you can clean that out with pinball wax. But if that still doesn't fix it and it's stuck, then you could have a bad coil. Another indicator is if the coil sleeve is dark, brown, or black. So I'm reading 3.7 ohms on that coil, the flipper coil. If it was shorted, it would probably read something more like this. If you need to replace the coil for any reason, look on the sleeve for the part number. That one's actually upside down. Now they're pretty easy to remove. You just got to remove those screws that are connected to that bracket, and then the coil slides out of that rod, and then you install the new one. Take a picture and make sure you solder in the right order. For any reason whatsoever, if your gameplay or software freezes up, what I suggest doing is unplugging the power cord, wait 1 full minute, and then plug it back in. The power cord could be located in the back, behind the back box. Simply unplug it, wait 1 minute, and plug it back in. Should fix most software errors. If you want to turn off the pinball machine or turn it on, you use the switch. Left to turn it off, right to turn it on. But if you want to properly reset the game, unplug it for 1 whole minute. Let's go ahead and get the key. Open up the coin door. When you open up the coin door, it's going to deactivate the 48 volts. When the coin door closes, allowing the 48 volts to turn on underneath the playfield. So the high voltage is on. Now the high voltage is off. You can pull out the switch if you're testing voltages on the coils. Now the high voltage is on when you pull out the switch. The middle position turns off the high voltage. Because this is a pinball machine and there's a lot of vibration and nudging going on, some of these connections may get loose over time. Also, heat may cause the connections to get loose over time too as well. Now, for example, if the ball does not travel through the drain hole and eject out the eject hole, then you want to focus on that section of the playfield. So right here, you can try to reseat these connections and make sure the pins line up to the connector properly and push it all the way in flush. Then you can do the same with the other connections as well. Sometimes that actually fixes the issue. Another thing you could do is you can check the solder joints on the coil. What you could do is wiggle the wire and make sure it's secure on the coil. I have a shaker installed right here. As you can see, the shaker motor plugs in right there on the board. So the black button is select, red buttons are to navigate, and the green button is the back button. So press the black button, and then press the black button again. So I'm pressing the red buttons to go back and forth like that, and then hit the black button to select adjustments, and then standard adjustments, and then hit the red button to navigate. Standard adjustment 21 is to change the balls, and then hit the black button to enter, and then the red button to change. So I'm going to put it back to 6-ball game, hit the black button to save it. Also, we like to change is the tilt warnings. If you like to nudge the machine, nudging the machine like this. So if you nudge the machine and that tilt knob touches that ring, then that's 1 tilt warning. You do that 3 times and you're going to lose the ball. So we went ahead and set that to 3 tilts instead of 2. Standard adjustment 40, we switched that to free play. Some Stern pinball machines, you can have an option to enter challenge mode. I highly suggest turning that on. It gives you another mode to play. It's a lot of fun. You can enter that mode by holding down the 2 flipper buttons for 5 seconds before you start a game. You can adjust the back box brightness. Standard adjustment 92. Gameplay back box brightness I set to 10%. And the reason why is because I don't want reflections on the playfield glass. See that Avengers reflection? See how bright that is? That's by default, by the way. It's hard to see your shots when that's there. And then let's go ahead and lower it and see that reflection go away. Pretty cool, huh? And then when you hit the green button, that goes back to this menu. You hit the red button to adjust feature adjustments. Here's my shaker motor. I set that to max. My left flipper power, I set that to also max, 255. And the right flipper power, I set that max, 255. And upper left flipper power, 255 as well. And that's feature adjustment 201. I hit back, and now we're out. Now, Godzilla and Avengers, They are Stern Spike 2 systems, so they're going to be similar how you enter and adjust some of those features. You want to use the other key, this one, and turn the key and open up the back box, and then you could grab the back glass, lift up, and then be careful, slide down, and then you can see right here, here's the game board. So anytime when working on your pinball machine, I highly suggest turning it off right here. Alright, now the power is off. Now keep in mind, because I turned it off using the switch, there's still power right here in this section, but there's no power going to this section right here. So this is the power supply. It converts AC volts to 48 volts DC. That goes right here. Input voltage is right here and output voltage right here. So this is the 48 volts power coming in. This is the display power for the LCD screen, and this is the display data cable for the LCD screen. This cable right here is for dedicated switches. This connection right here is the node bus connection for the node boards underneath the playfield. This connection right here is the node bus connection going to the node board connected to the left side of the pinball machine cabinet underneath the playfield. This connection right here goes to the speakers right here and here, and this connection right here goes to the cabinet subwoofer underneath the playfield. This connection right here is an add-on connection, and you can actually connect an external subwoofer or line out. This connection right here is for my headphone station volume control that you see right here. That connects to the leg bolts. And then I could plug in my headphones right here and not disturb anyone at night and adjust the volume. You gotta activate that in settings though. This right here is the lithium battery. Lasts about 5 to 7 years. That stores all your personal data. Don't mess with the dip switch settings right here. This right here is the wireless Wi-Fi dongle. So I can update my game board over the internet and log into my gaming profile, my Stern Insider Connect profile. So if anything's gonna go bad on this board, it would probably be a dead battery, maybe loose connections. You just basically push down on the connections to reseat them, and maybe a bulge capacitor after about 10 years. Your game software is located right here on this card, SD card. And that's pretty much everything inside a Stern back box you need to know. There are schematics that you can see right up here and then over here as well, which is very helpful. Also, for any reason whatsoever, if you want to change out the fuse, you could twist this and pull it out, and you could check and see if the fuse is good or bad. If you've seen any scorching in there or broken wire, then replace the fuse. This is an 8 amp fuse, and it tells you that at the end on the cap of the fuse. Simply push it in and then push and twist to lock it in. Push that up and then set it down right here, and it should stay on. You see the little lip right here? Go ahead and close it up and you can turn it back on. Now if your ball gets stuck in the playfield, what I like to do is nudge the machine left and right until the ball becomes loose and frees itself, or forward and back. But if that doesn't happen and the ball's still stuck, then you're going to have to open up the coin door, remove the latches on the side, then remove the lock bar, and then slide out the glass. Then you can pull down the glass halfway and free up the ball and see if that helps, but sometimes you have to remove the playfield glass all the way. And try not to put your fingerprints underneath the glass, because then once you install the glass again, then you're going to have fingerprints under the glass. So just grab it from right here and then slide it out and tilt it. And you want to put it somewhere safe. Now keep in mind this is tempered glass, and the most sensitive part of the glass is the corners. So if you accidentally bump the corner into something hard like concrete, then it's going to explode. And so sometimes the ball gets stuck behind that pop bumper right there. And so what I did is I bent that metal rail outward a little bit, and that prevented the ball from getting stuck behind that pop bumper. And then lift up right here in the middle. And then these two legs, you want to rest right here, right on the lock bar section. And then you can look under there. If you want to pull it further out and lift it up, you have to take the balls out by pushing up on the coil. 1, it should be, I think, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I normally just put it in my pocket. And then right here, you want to grab the legs with your 2 hands and then pull it out until you hear a click. Right there, or a thump. And then you can lift it up like that. And then pull it forward, and then keep on lifting it up and pull it forward. And then it should rest on the back box. There's stoppers right here preventing it to, slide all the way out. And then you can work on it from this section right here. You can reseat all these connections if you have any issues whatsoever. And then of course reseat the connections on the node boards. That sometimes helps. To bring it down, use 2 hands, and pull it forward and down. Watch your hands. And then it should rest right here. And then what you want to do is put 1 hand here, and then 1 hand in the back. And you want to lift up a little bit on the back end to get over that bump. Just an inch and forward. Lift it up an inch and then move forward. And then you lift it right here and slide it forward again, all the way back until these tabs right here go into the holes. Should sit flush right here. Now it's good to replace the balls every year. Also, sometimes the balls might get magnetized, so keep that in mind. And just wipe them down. And then place the balls right here. I use Pinball wax. This is mill wax, and this is for the pinball playfield. I apply it on my rag first. This is a microfiber cloth, and then I wipe it all across the playfield, and then I wait about a minute for it to dry, and then I flip over the rag and then clean out the wax. So hopefully this video helped you out. Thanks for watching.